Speaker.
Adrian Rurewhai.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I have to agree with the Minister, sir. This is a momentous day to get to third reading after such a long time. And I congratulate the Minister and the Select Committee for getting it to this stage finally. Can I say, Mr Speaker, that I find that the balance between two very contrasting parts of the sector is a difficult one to find the right balance between between the people that are harmed or participate in gambling and also within the industry itself. So this particular bill goes some way to addressing some of the issues that have been raised since the original Act was enacted in 2004 or 2003, I think, sorry. And I think that, we're very proud on this side that it was the Labor government that actually put this legislation into the statutes in the first instance. And there are some really important and major changes that were brought about by this particular Act. As the Minister has said, there are really there's some minor and technical amendments in this bill. As I mentioned in the committee stage, raising the amount of minimum percentage of funds returning to the community is a very good one, and I want to acknowledge that again in this third reading. Because if there's one redeeming feature of gambling in this way, is that it does return some funds to the community. But on the other hand, there's also some issues as well that they're really serious ones around harm caused by gambling. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to commend the Department of Internal Affairs and the Minister as well for their strong words over the last few days to the industry that they need to, as I would put it, up their game or feel the full force of the law. Because in the mystery shopper sting, if you like, 102 venues were visited, and only one out of those actually helped the person that was in trouble with their gambling. And that's not good enough. And the message that we need to be sending from this House, sir, to the industry is that up your game, because with the third amendment, and after 11 years, one would have thought that the industry would have got themselves to a point of being able to operate within the framework that was put down. But I think it's also been unhelpful, sir, that the government's dealing of the Sky City deal has not helped things. I think it has sent the wrong kind of message to the industry that gambling is okay in a way that it's not. I think we need to find a balance. Last year, sir, we campaigned on the our Labour Party here on having a full review of the gambling legislation. I think that, we need to still think about doing that in the future unless there are serious changes or of attitude from the industry itself. I think that it's inevitable that Kiwis are going to ask that happens. And so, sir, the gambling industry must become better corporate citizens and act more considerately towards the people who are most vulnerable. And I take my hat off and mihi out to those providers that provide very good services in helping people affected and harmed by gambling. And in particular, those families that bear the burden of one of their family members harmed by gambling, because inevitably it is their families that suffer the most. And I want to acknowledge all of the good work that's been done out there, and even those within the industry that have done well. And there are, by the looks of it, they're few and far between, but there are some, and I want to acknowledge them in this third reading. I think a review in the future may find a way forward to strengthening the powers of communities and local authorities. I think there lies the real nub of the solution moving forward, that when communities have control over their destiny in terms of gambling, that is a good thing. And I heard at our select committee, there are some good models out there, and one of them is in the deep south of, and a member across the house there, Sarah Dowie, has informed us about that. And I think so there are some opportunities out there through, not only through this bill, sir, but also by some cooperation between the parties. And I would encourage also at this stage that both the gambling sector and those providing services to minimise harm caused by gambling need to get together too and have real discussions around mutually respectful discussions. So a couple of other clauses within the Act itself. It provides, as the Minister said, the power for licences to be suspended in certain circumstances where, in respect of breaches in the past. It also provides that societies must ensure that they continue to meet certain criteria that enabled them to get a licence in the first place, so that they cannot stop doing what they agreed to get the licence in the first place. So I think that those two, along with a number of other clauses within this bill, are very helpful in moving forward to a place where there is better operations within the gambling industry. Sir, it's been, as I said, it's been 11 years since this law has come into force. I think that it's important that we reflect on those 11 years and see how far that we've come in the operation of gambling within this industry, and I want to reiterate that we need to do better, and if in fact we do not do better by those families who bear the burden of harm caused by gambling, then we would need to make further changes, and I would advocate for that, sir. That's all I have to contribute, sir. Nō reira, tēnā tātou.
Sarah Dowie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the